علشان نغني لك خيل الغناوي عليك انت الشكر هيلك تسلم وما تشوف شر محضرنا يوم ويلك. انا قلبي على بلدي تسلم وعيش نيلك.
علشان نغني لك خيل الغناوي عليك انت الشكر هيلك تسلم وما تشوف شر محضرنا يوم ويلك. وانا قلبي على بلدي تسلم ويعيش نيلك.
نفسي ألقى سماك ما طايرة في ملا عصفورة بتغني
لا صوت غنابل ولا كلمة رصاص من زول على أرض متجني.
أنا نفسي ألقى سماك ما طايرة في ملا عصفورة بتغني
لا صوت غنابل كلمة رصاص من زول على أرض متجني.
يا ديلو يا ديلا يا دي القلوب حني
يا ديلو يا ديلا يا دي القلوب حني.
يا ديلو يا ديلا يا دي القلوب حني. من حقها عيوننا تصحى ويزور صباح خير اللي متمنيه. وكوبا متنين عوافي سلامات لعلكم طيبين.
نبشر نهز السيف للخير عديلة وزيف.
وكوبا متنين عوافي سلامات لعلكم طيبين.
نبشر نهز السيف للخير عديلة وزيف.
يا مرحبا بسلامات يا مرسى يا مينا يا أرض شرقي أنا يا قهوة توطينا. يا مرحبا بسلامات يا مرسى يا مينا يا أرض شرقي أنا يا قهوة توطينا.
إن شاء الله دائما بخير عاش السلام فينا.
إن شاء الله دائما بخير عاش السلام فينا. وأرض جدود عمار أولاد بابا تهاجر لست جعلنا. وكوبا متنين عوافي سلامات لعلكم طيبين.
أنا بشر نهز السيف الخير عديلة وزيف.
عقبة سلامات لعلكم طيبين.
أبشر أبشر نهز السيف بالخير عديل وزين.
يا مرحبا سلامات يا مرسى يمينا، يا أرض شرقي أنا يا قهوة وطينا. يا مرحبا بسلامات يا مرسى يمينا، أرض شرقي أنا يا قهوة وطينا.
إن شاء الله دايما بخير عاش السلام فينا.
إن شاء الله دايما بخير عاش السلام فينا.
وأرض جدودنا عمار أولاد ما تهاجر الله استجعلنا.
هاي هاي كيف اسيب ارضي عاقبل الرحيل لين سيف ولد ابوي ده وراي وانا ما بدور للغلوب شكل القريب ولا زين. كيف اسيب ارضي عاقبل الرحيل لين سيف ولد ابوي ده وراي انا ما بدور للغلوب شكل القريب ولا زين.
واد عمي أنا مخلوق بيناتنا حنا الأم منا تقبليه. واد عمي أنا مخلوق بيناتنا حنا الأم منا تقبليه.
وانا ظهري مستور بك في دنيا ترك وهجير. انا ظهري مستور بك في دنيا ترك وهجير.
لازمني أرضي دحين غرقنا ما يطيم. لازمني أرضي دحين غرقنا ما يطيم.
كيف اسيب ارضي عاقبل الرحيل لين سيف ولد ابوي ده وراي وانا ما بدور للغلوب. كيف اسيب ارضي عاقبل الرحيل لين سيف ولد ابوي ده وراي وانا ما بدور للغلوب شكل القريب ولا زين.
واد عمي أنا مخلوق بيناتنا حنا الأم منا تقبليه. واد عمي أنا مخلوق بيناتنا حنا الأم منا تقبليه.
وانا ظهري مستور بك في دنيا ترك وهجير. وانا ظهري مستور بك في دنيا ترك وهجير.
لازمني أرضي دحين غرقنا ما يطيم. لازمني أرضي دحين غرقنا ما يطيم. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله. منجيها بلد أحبابي لا عهلا إلا.
أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان لا شح لا قلا. أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد الأمين وعلى آله الأكرمين. نعتز بوجودكم لاحتفالات الجالية السودانية بيوم المراءة العالمي الذي يصادف أي 8 من مارس من كل عام. ونعتز بالحضور الكريم تحية ملوءها الترحاب والاحتفاء بهذه الوجوه المشرفة. الذين تفضلوا المشكورين بتلبية الدعوة. تحية فياضة بالبهجة والحضور والغيظ والسرور بتجدد الصلة مع بعضكم والتشرف بالتعرف على البعض الآخر. في هذا اليوم الذي يغمرنا الاعتزاز والفخر بوجودكم، احتفالات الجالية السودانية بيوم المرأة. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I wish every day will be International Women's Day. Every day another opportunity to respect women, whoever they are, whatever they are, and whatever they are may be. Women continue to contribute to the social, economic, cultures. And now we also would like to thank the Victorian Police, the City of Melbourne, the African Organization. Thank you so much, guys, for your coming.
Present, and I always say that I am very grateful to actually be standing here because I realized maybe 2 years ago I was in the Kimberleys and I was in a small community that was a closed community, and each time anybody came in, they smoked them. So one day I asked why I wasn't getting smoked. And the old man said to me, "No, you're one of us." I said, "Really?" They said, "Yes, we know you're a crocodile person." I didn't bother to ask how they knew that my mother's totem is the crocodile. So I think that if I actually don't acknowledge the indigenous people, I might get struck by lightning because somehow they will know I didn't do it. So, but I also do it because I think it is actually quite important. Unfortunately, I do not speak Arabic, I do not speak any other language except what I am going to use now. So if you're sitting next to somebody who gets lost, please do explain to them what I'm saying. And outside that, I am very happy for you to catch me at a later date and ask me what I was on about. I was asked to come and talk about human rights and women. And I said, well, I would prefer to actually talk about where human rights come from, because being a daughter of the African continent, there is a perception that human rights are foreign and European. However, I know that in my language, one of the few languages that I speak, we actually have a term for human rights in our vernacular, which tells me that we must have heard that before. And therefore, that's why I thought maybe we should talk about human dignity if we are talking to a mixed group of people, where you have fathers, you have mothers, you have young people, and you have people who are just as nosy like myself, because every person is concerned every day of their life with human dignity. And I thought I'll start by reading something to you that Eleanor Roosevelt said at the United Nations on the 27th, we just missed the mark, of March in 1958. Where, after all, do universal human rights come from? In small places, closest to home, so close and so small that they cannot be seen on any map of the world. Yet they are the world of individual persons. The neighborhood he lives, the school or college he attends, the factory, farm or office where he works. Such are the places where every man, woman and child seeks equal justice, equal opportunity, equal dignity without discrimination. Such are the places where, unless these rights have meaning there, they have little meaning anyway. Without concerted citizen effort and action to uphold them close to home, we shall look in vain for progress in the largest world. I thought it's important to actually start from this point that human rights are not something out there. Human rights are with us, every one of us, all the time. And this is based on the human values. And the human values come from where every one of us here, we know that we are all human. And there are certain values that we have, irrespective of where we come from, you know, what clothes we wear, what religion we belong to, what car we drive. And these are virtual, that, you know, you can't put your hand on them. And these values are life itself. I know that right now sometimes we wonder if they are shared because there are people who readily take other people's lives, but in reality, we all value life. Happiness, we all want to be happy. And love, we all want to be loved. About a month ago, I had an opportunity to sit with a group of women in Dandenong, and I asked them about their names. And as they were telling me their names, I also asked them about the source of their names. And at the end of the day, there were 17 women in a room, and their names were all about love, happiness, and hope. There were 2 women whose names were actually about the celebration of that parent's spiritual connection to the Prophet. So you can see that even when you don't even think about it, parents think about happiness for their children, they think about love for their children, and they think about hope. So this is where from day one, how do we then talk about dignity? How do we enhance the dignity? We went on by me asking the women in the room, how then do we make sure that we all live up to our dreams or our parents' dreams? That's when the little complicated bits of government came into it, or of law, because we all, every one of us has a right to human dignity. And if another person threatens that dignity, that is when the law comes in.
From these homes was the fact that she initiated for this change. And she actually stood up and had to ask for it. And I think as African women, because of the way parenting and the way our mothers passed on the story to us, was to be submissive, to be always, working for the goodness of our husbands. And I don't think that has earned us, it hasn't earned us a status or anything. In fact, it has suppressed us from what is commonly ours. And I will tie this to the human rights. Every human being has, a dignity. And we have to be able to dignify ourselves. And when the woman stands for herself, she's not only empowering herself, but she's empowering the whole community. It is the woman who ties the fabric of society together. And without her input, I think many societies go invalid. And a lot of wars and a lot of things are happening because the war inside the woman, the war of not being equal, the war of being less than, the war of being, used, that war is actually projecting into our world. And what we do at Awaj is we awaken the power of the woman. Because when a woman is determined, and when she feels she can do it, and when her seed of potential is awakened, I think the whole universe.
Assalamu alaikum. I'd like first to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, all past and present. زي ما التقديم كان, my name is Dr. Nadia Abdullah. I'm a consultant psychiatrist at Alfred Hospital, and I'm the I'm one of the lead psychiatrists in the Headspace Use Early Psychosis program, which is part of Alfred Health. من جوا يحبونه يطلع بمشاكل تكون بسبب الستريس اللي كانت معرضة للوالدة ووالدته وهي pregnant بيه. فمن كده I can never stress on how important is mental health, and we have to think of this very, very, very deeply. Mental health is not only for adults, not only for elderly. Mental health is for children, for adolescents, for youth, for adults, for everyone, even before they were born. So we have to be mindful of that. And if we have that in our minds, I think we'll be more careful. From the time you're pregnant, you start to think about, okay. Mental illness is a health problem that significantly affects how the person thinks, behaves, and interacts with others. And the main problem with mental health is that it's hard to diagnose because we don't have something solid to diagnose mental illness with. I mean by that is, if you have a headache and you went to the doctor complaining of a headache and tummy ache and you're vomiting, what they do, they request some blood tests, they take you for a scan, they look at the results and they say, your headache is because your white cell count is so and so, your blood is showing this, the X-ray is showing this. So actually taking blood and testing it and say, you have depression. No, you have schizophrenia. But we have another thing. We have a standardized criteria, which is basically criteria that people who have a long history with mental illness and people who have a long history of dealing with mental illness sat together and they found that these are certain criteria that can fulfill the diagnosis of depression, another set of criteria and duration and all that can fulfill the diagnosis of another disorder. So basically, we don't have something like blood tests or scans, but we do have a standardized criteria that we depend on. And even that, when I'm diagnosed with someone, I would always say that it could be something. And that's only for one reason, because I'm very mindful that there are lots of factors contributing to mental health and mental illnesses. And if we look at some of them and we rule them out, other ones will become and haunt us back, such as social, cultural, spiritual. These are factors that can influence our well-being and our mental health, which are sometimes ignored and not looked at in depth. And that could be the focus of why this person is actually not well from the mental health point of view. So, الاهتمام بكل components of life, like your social life, your spiritual life, your cultural values and life, but also the same as looking after your body. You take a daily shower, you look after yourself. If you have anything, you go on and get yourself checked. The same thing has to happen for mental health. It's got all the things that come with mental health. It's quite subtle. You can't put your hand into it, but it's always there. According to the statistic, there's about 1 in 5 Australian, and really people might look at this this is really high statistics. It's 1 in every 5 Australian in general suffer from mental illness in any given time. And I'm pretty sure if we look at what we call a very, very big topic. But what I want you to focus with me at is that the major ones are anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, personality disorders, eating disorder, depression, and the one that I miss, which is really important, is substance use disorder, which is a major problem. But in general, all this in mental illness, we can say they can call all these illnesses as illness, or we can call it disorders, or we can call it impairments. Sometimes we call it disability, which I don't like to use because it doesn't go with any recovery-focused thinking. Because when you think of someone as disabled, you always have, subconsciously you have this thought about, it's just that's it, it's the end of it. But I don't like to think this way. I like always to think that there is always recovery for whoever I'm looking after. Okay, how does it happen? I mean, this is the million-dollar question. Everybody's thinking, okay, we know that there is mental illness, and we have to look after ourselves. We have to look after our mental health and well-being. But how does it happen in general? In general, it's a very complex interaction between our mind, our body, and our environment. So just think of it this way: you have the mind and you have the body, and that's another topic in itself. And then you have the environment. The interaction between these three. And each one of them has its own component. The environment contains the social, the culture, it contains your spirituality, it contains the climate, the temperature around you, your body and how your body well-being, how fit and healthy within yourself as physically healthy. And then your mind, and then the mind goes with all this level of thinking, and the subconscious and the conscious and all this stuff. All these interact together in a very complex and very delicate way to create our mental health and well-being. And any problem in any of them can lead to physical health and also can lead to significant mental health. So the fact is that there are plenty of factors, but I picked few that we can discuss today. So the factors that contribute to mental illness, some of them are stress. And I know that the ladies before me, they mentioned stress. And I cannot stress enough on how much stress is a problem. Stress could be from anywhere. Some stress could be subtle. Some stress that can creep into you that you don't even feel it. Like daily problems of daily life problems. Dealing with kids at home, that could be stressful. If you have kids one after the other and you have 7 of them at home, that could be very stressful with no support, knowing that migrants you don't have much support here. You came by yourself, you don't have family, you don't have anyone around you who can actually help you out with these kids. That could be stressful. While for people who are working, that could be a hell of stress because you try to prove yourselves in a place where actually unfortunately, there are lots of racism, there are lots of discrimination sometimes. There are people who doesn't appreciate your effort just for your ethnicity or for who you are. There are lots of things that could be coming in a very small, lethal doses, but they are really, really hard and difficult for you to carry on. So this stuff, come home, you find that you have issues with your husband. Your husband wants you to behave as if you are in Sudan, not working, not doing anything, and actually he wants everything ready on the table, and he wants his clean house and his clean kitchen, his clean kids, and everything clean. So that's another stress. So I'm sorry for the gentlemen here. I'm just, because it's women there, I'm talking on behalf of women, but I'm talking in stress in general. I know that men also have their own stress. It's even worse than I'm fully aware that can lead to bigger problems that needs long-term treatment. Another factor that people might not have much hand on or cannot control, which is biological. And it's quite known that biologically, some people carry some genes that can lead to mental illnesses. And it's quite known that things, disorders like depression, anxiety, and also schizophrenia, I mean, they can be carried on in families through genes. This cannot be, we cannot have much control over that, but we can help the person help deal with the difficulties that they're going through. And early intervention is the key for all mental health, even people who have genetic predisposition. With early intervention, seeking help early, things can be done. So one of the factors is genetic, and I don't think anyone has any hand on that. Now we come to one of the biggest problems here. Alcohol and drug illicit substance use and alcohol in general. And I love this picture because I always think that, instead of taking it through your mouth and damaging your mind, just open your brain and just mess it up. It's easier and quicker. Because in general, this is really messing up with your life. You're killing yourself very, very slowly with very small doses of substances or alcohol. You can get the pleasure in a minute, but in the long term, there is always consequences for that. So drug and alcohol is one of the major contributing factors to the deterioration in mental health in any person. Cognitive patterns such as constant negative thoughts and low self-esteem, and I think that's something that we can do something about it. We can do something for ourselves, we can do something for our children about it. It's the constant negative thought that you're not worth it, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. This is really hard. When you think about it, whoever tells you when you're little you cannot do it actually sets you for mental health problems down the track. Because if that became the focus and the core of your cognition, that you're not worth it, you have low self-esteem, you cannot do it, you will keep on like this throughout your life, and that will set you up to failure. So basically you'll be setting yourself for failure, and you'll be setting yourself to be demoralized by demoralizing yourself and actually putting yourself at a higher risk of becoming unwell down the track. Now I think we need to stop here and look at this give this slide a little bit of thought. Domestic violence. I think that's a problem. What I want to talk about in this slide is isolation and domestic violence. We come here as migrants. We leave our family, extended families, our neighbors, our loved ones sometimes, and we come here to settle. You know, it's a lovely place. It's a nice place. It's a wonderful place. But we don't speak the language. We don't know the culture. They don't speak our language. They don't know our culture. So basically, you end up from the beginning in the wrong foot. You don't start right. You don't know how to communicate with these people. You don't know how to deal with them. So what you do, you start to isolate yourself. And the more you isolate yourself, the more you set yourself to become lonely, the more you let your negative cognition take the best out of you, the more your negative thoughts about yourself and about the world will come kicking, and that's when you become very vulnerable to become unwell with mental illness. And that's basically what migrants and people come to a new country. That's one of the major problems, is social isolation. Being alone, don't know how to communicate, don't know how to connect to the communities around them. The other thing is family violence. I think that's really important to be addressed. Sometimes the grown-ups will have an argument, and I think sometimes it's just a simple argument which might not be valid. They're scared. They don't know what will come after that. Will mom be bashed after this argument, or what will happen after that? And I think that will set not only these parents, both of them. I'm not talking only of the woman. The woman can get really unwell because of domestic violence, but also the man. I mean, why he's so violent? Why he's so angry? He's mentally unwell. And doesn't mean that he's crazy. No, he's mentally unwell. Stress is a problem. But what we're doing here, this little girl is definitely down the track. Will develop a hell lot of. I can just stand here till tomorrow and list the list of problems that this young girl will develop as she's growing. And I think that's horrible for us to do this for our kids. We know that when we are in our own communities back home, we can have arguments, we can talk, but the kids have another place where they can run to. They can go to the neighbors to avoid hearing. They can go outside playing with the other kids. They will be in the front yard, which is huge. They don't hear anything. But here they are locked between four walls, have nowhere to escape, rather than just to sit there and cough it up, listen to all this argument and deal with it and internalize it. And you don't know how much guilty they feel for any problem that happens in the family. They feel that they are part of it. They think that they are the reason why their parents are having argument. And I think it's not fair enough and it's not right. It's not good to have violence at home. We have to say no to that. We have to stop it. If you are a subject or a victim of violence, talk to someone, seek help for you and for your partner. They need help. You need help to support your mental health. You need help to look after your mental health because you have a bigger mission. You have to look after your little ones and you have to set good example for your future kids not to be in your place. And for your partner, he needs help. This is not something good. You should not say okay for violence. Okay, we did talk really bad things and it's really bad news talking about all these depressing topics, but the good news is that all these factors can really be minimized by having a very supportive family and community environment. So reach out, come to your community, talk to them, be part of them, show them that you are there, be present to them and express your support to them. And the more you engage in your community, the more you get, you make yourself available to them, the more you accept their support and accept being part of them. It's really important, and it's also important in other factors. Part of the issues that young people have, and it's really heartbreaking to see the media and what young people can do in the media, and I think identity is extremely important. I mean, one of the phases of development that if anyone missed will develop long-term problems in terms of who they are is the phase of identity. I mean, if they know who they are, if they know who they belong to, if they know the community and culture, if they're exposed to know, okay, this is me, I'm different, I'm brown or black, whatever they call you at school, but I'm different because I'm from a different culture. As they grow up, if they touch alcohol, it's haram. If they use substances, it's haram. If they try to do anything bad, it's not accepted because the Sudanese community doesn't accept this, or the African, whatever community you are, this is not accepted. So that will set, you will be preparing your kids by making them engaging in the community and knowing the community to know who they are, and that will set them to a very good start and will help them to prevent a lot of mental health issues down the track. Okay. These are the issues. What can we do? What do we need to do to help ourselves and to help ourselves from becoming mentally unwell? Number one, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling sad. I'm depressed. You have to learn and you have to know to say, stop. I don't like the way you treat me. You have to treat me better. I deserve to be treated better. And that applies everywhere. It applies to work, applies to home, applies to the street, applies to wherever you go. So you have to find your voice. You have to know how to express your feelings, and you have to teach your kids to express these feelings. You have to tell your kids that it's okay to be sad. Shed a tear every now and then if something hurt you. It's okay to say, I don't like this. It's good, it's great to express your feelings and your emotions and your thoughts. You give them the power. And once they start to develop this power, that will really become a big shield for them down the track and for the future. So for yourself, speak up, talk about your feelings, talk if you're not feeling unwell. The other thing is exercise. And I know I've been talking to many ladies in the community, and they were saying, do you want me to exercise after all this age? Yes, I want you to exercise after all this age. I'm not saying to you wear your tracksuit and go to the gym or go and have run a marathon. I'm just asking you for one thing, just 30 minutes, 3 times a day. And it doesn't have to be strong exercise. It's just something that you can do. When you exercise, there's a lot of chemical reactions happen in your body, lots of hormonal changes in your body, lots of things that happens in your body that actually support your general health and well-being, and which includes your mental health. So exercise is really, really important. Eating healthy meals, and by healthy meals I mean healthy balanced diet. I don't care about whatever you want to do. I know that people sometimes, and it's a pandemic problem about putting weight. Just eat balanced diet. Always have lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and drinking water and having lots of varieties of meals every day. I think that would also be very productive because a healthy body is a healthy mind and vice versa. I love this slide because it just makes me feel sleepy. Sleep is really another extremely important one, and I know that put ourselves last. We always think about the family. I can't go to bed before I make sure that everything is ready for the day to come for me, my kids, and my husband, and the food is cooked if I'm working, and the house is clean. So basically, your life doesn't stop till way after midnight, and your day starts extremely early. And that means that, and during the day, you know what you're doing. You're running around trying to fix things and trying to do things. So sleep is extremely important. And a night's sleep, I'm not talking about small naps during the day. Night sleep is extremely important. Like 1 hour of night sleep, if you lost it at night, you can't compensate for it no matter how many hours you try to do in the daytime. So try to have a good routine of sleep. You have at least 7 hours of sleep during a night, and that would really be very helpful. Just imagine just imagine a computer. The computer, if you have a computer running on all day and night with no rest, it will crash. The same is like your brain. Your brain needs to shut down. So sleep is your off button. So have rest, sleep, so that your internal computer will regenerate, kick on, and start working again. Spend time with friends and loved ones, and I think that's really, really important because it's the time when actually you share things with others. It's the time when you get advice either directly or indirectly. Like you talk to your friends will make you feel it's okay. Things, we've been there before. You can do it. We will help you through, you know, talk to friends, have some time, you know. Coffee time is a great idea. I mean, having people who doesn't work, you can have a scheduled once per week coffee time in each one's house. Or, as you mentioned earlier, 30 minutes of walking. Make it as a group. Socialize. Socialization is one of the factors that can prevent and help the development of dementia. It's not about IQ, that's what people say. It's not about your high IQ, it's not about your educational level. It's about socializing, your ability to socialize, your ability to, because that, when you socialize with your friends, it's a happy event. Lots of centers in your brain will be lightening. Lots of centers in your brain will be working together, and that in itself is very, very important for your mental health. Develop new skills, and I think this is also very important. I apologize. I said I'll be talking in Sudanese, and I started talking in English. Also, I'm really, really sorry. Continue. Okay. If you want me to repeat anything, just let me know. We would like to do something that could fill our boredom, you know, and I think that could be, because this is a new skill. New skill means new abilities, and that's the thing that you can kill your boredom and you can move on with. People who are working, learn something else. If you're good with everything you do, learn computer skills, learn Excel, learn something different, learn the language. Yeah, I know it sounds silly, but I'm killing cliche, but it's true. You know, learning a new language opens other channels of knowing people and communicating with people. Relax and enjoy your hobbies. I mean, we might not have hobbies like, you know, Western women. I mean, they do have hobbies, but we do. We do. I mean, if you start with yourself, you find that you like writing poetry, or you like singing within by yourself, and you like, I don't know, doing whatever, something, even if it's very trivial and small, it could be still valuable. It's for you. It's, people call it me time. That's your time. Enjoy it. Just relax. Do whatever you feel like it. Even if you like just to lay down and watch TV, that's your time. Do whatever you feel like doing in your own time. It's not your kids' time. It's not your husband's time. It's not the community. It's not your friends. It's your time. So always try to have as much of me time and just enjoy it. And that's really, people might minimize that, but that's really important for your mental health. Whenever you try to do something, always try to protect yourself from failure. Set small goals. Don't try to jump and break your neck from the goal. Start going. Set small goals. You know?
I'm not sure if you can elaborate a little bit on that.
There's always a level of anxiety before you perform. And I think that, I'll just give you this example, because if you're not a little bit anxious, we'll not be driven to perfect or to do our best. Because if everything is just taken for granted, I don't think you'll have the motivation to do better. So a little bit of anxiety is not what is helpful. The stress that they're talking about is the stress that, a little bit of stress that can make you perform your best. And that's the stress that you have when you go into an exam. You know that tummy ache that you have, your butterflies, and how you feel about feeling anxious, tightness in my chest. That's the normal stress that you can go through when you go through an exam, and that's okay. Usually stress, there's a curve for stress. You know, stress goes up and comes down. That's a natural process for stress. But as it's going up and coming down, if you have another bout of stress, it keeps on going, it never come back. Keep on going, keep on going. That will end up that your baseline stress will be really high. Even when you're not stressed, you are under stress. Did I answer the question?
Now the building Commissioner of Victorian Police, Andrew Chris. Welcome to the stage, please.
Which one do I choose?
luckily I haven't got any notes. Join you here today in celebrating International Women's Day, and I actually feel quite humble and quite privileged to be here, to be part of this wonderful community, but to follow 4 very inspirational speakers who are extremely intelligent, articulate and courageous in what you said and the way that you said it. So I do feel quite privileged to follow 4 such excellent speakers. I do stand before you as a member of Victoria Police, and it's been really interesting for me to listen to the comments that you've made. So you can tell I'm not African. I'm not a woman. I'm not young. So I'm thinking, what am I doing up here? But really what I'm doing up here is about what Victoria Police is all about. Because as an organisation, we are a community organisation. We're entrusted to keep the community safe. And for them not just to be safe, but to also to feel safe. And it's an interesting situation we actually find ourselves in, because we actually have a very clear role in relation to law enforcement. So if someone breaks the law, and it's very clear that we have a responsibility to look after the victim, to investigate the crime, to put the person before the court. It's then up to the court in terms of what they then do with that particular person. Our job is done. However, policing has come a long way, and we're in a position now where, as an organisation, we have this responsibility, as I said, to keep the community safe. So how do we actually do that? So it's not just about the hard edge of law enforcement, it's about how we work with wonderful communities such as yours, other African communities, the Indian community, and we go on and on and on, because that's what's wonderful and fantastic about Melbourne, about Victoria and about Australia. Because apart from our Indigenous community, who I acknowledge, we've all come from another place at another time, and we've all generally come for the one reason, that not just that we wanted a better life, but we wanted a better life for our children. And that's what's great to see here today. There's so many families, so many young children. And there's been some reference to the United Nations and the Convention in relation to the rights of the child. And the one line that I remember from that is every child has the right to realise their potential. Whether you're a young boy or whether you're a young girl, you have that right to realise your potential. And for that to occur, you need to be loved, you need to be cared for, and there needs to be hope in your life. And as a member of Victoria Police, we play a very real role in terms of how we can support communities and how we have to work with communities in actually doing that. So I guess the elephant in the room is what happened on March the 12th in Federation Square, where a large number of young men got together and created basically mayhem at Federation Square and in some parts of the city on that particular night. You might remember me as a person who did a fair bit of media over the next couple of days, and never once did I mention Sudanese or any other particular African country, because I didn't know. So my reference was always about young men of African appearance, young men of Pacific or Islander appearance, young men of Anglo appearance, because it wasn't just about one particular ethnic group, it was about young people. And some might say, well, there are particular challenges that are facing some of our newer communities, and that is true, but we've also got to keep things in perspective that young people have been doing this for many, many generations. There's always been that tension in families in terms of not listening to adults, not listening to family, becoming disengaged from community, from faith, that's important to you. But in saying that, we know there are some other elements in relation to the journeys of families and some young people to this country in more recent times. It is different to the Italians and the Greeks and the English when I came here as a 12-year-old. So there are some challenges. But for me, I think my message, and I did 3ZZZ Sudanese Community Radio a couple of Fridays ago after the events at Fed Square, and one of my messages was about, as a community, as a broader community, is not to panic. You know, there are so many people doing so much good work, and I'm sure if we continue to work our way through this, we will get to where we want to be. Unfortunately, there'll always be a small group, and again, generally young men. So, given that this is about International Women's Day, I will say, and there is a saying that goes up behind every good man, there's an even better woman. My better woman is actually sitting down here with me here today. And we're running late for an event, and if we don't leave very soon, I'm going to be in trouble from that better woman. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. You are a wonderful community. Victoria Police, we are a police force for all communities. We will continue to work with you. We will get to the point where we will see many people from the Sudanese Australian community as members of Victoria Police. That's what we want to see. So we want to see in years to come a Deputy Commissioner that looks somewhat different to me standing up here. So thank you again, and I look forward to really catching you soon. Thank you.
نلتقيك اليوم يا وطني لقاء الأوفياء قد تنادينا خفافا كخيول الريح في جوف عتادينا لك يا وطني لك يا أرض البطولات وميراث الحضارات نغني اليوم في عرس الفداء ها هنا يبتسم النهر القديم
افتتاحية بواسطة رئيس الجالية السودانية الدكتور علاء الدين الملك.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. شكرا جزيلا لكل الحضور، وشكرا جزيلا لانكم استقطعتوا وقت من اوقات لطيفه معنا. نحن الجالية السودانية في ولاية فيكتوريا نحتفل اليوم بيوم المرأة العالمي، والمرأة هي كما كلنا نعلم انها جزء، المرأة هي جزء لا يتجزأ من المجتمع. المرأة هي الأم الحنونة، المرأة هي الزوجة الحبيبة، الزوجة. المرأة هي الأخت، المرأة هي الابنة، المرأة هي عماد الأسرة، عماد المجتمع. ونحن نحتفل بالمرأة كل يوم ونعتقد المفترض انه كل يوم هو يكون عيد للمرأة. المرأة مكرمة في ديننا، والرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال انه ما اكرمهن الا كريم وما اهانهن الا لئيم. نحن من عاداتنا انه نحترم المرأة ونكرم المرأة ولا نحتدي على المرأة، وما افتكر ان احنا لو جينا اي بلد ثاني يكون في اي اختلاف في عاداتنا. فيكتوريا، والحمد لله انه جزء كبير من الحضور، ونتمنى انه يكون دي بدايه بتاعت نشاطات لقدام، ونحن يعني نلتمس ونطلب من الجميع الاتفاق حولنا على اساس انه نقدم حاجه لنا، على اساس انه نقدم حاجه نرفع اسم البلد، عشان نقدم حاجه نثبت اسم السودان. وده ما لنا نحن بالنسبه لاطفالنا، لانه نحن في النهايه عايشين في البلد دي وقاعدين في البلد دي. اللي بنعمل كله لنا ولاولادنا، وما في حال انه نحن سوداني من هنا ولا ده سوداني من هنا، ولا ده سوداني مثلا عنده اتجاه سياسي ولا ده سوداني ما عنده اتجاه سياسي. في النهايه نحن سودانيين، لو في غلط اسمه سودانيين، ولو في صح نحن سودانيين. In the Sudanese Community Association of Victoria, thanks a lot. We're here today to celebrate the International Women's Day. And women is an integral part of our community and a very important part of our community as well. We love our mothers, sisters, wives, daughters. So women actually is more than half of our community. And in our religion, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked us, and he actually not just asked, but he ordered us to look after women and also to care for women. As I said, Rasul said, "Ma akramahunna illa kareem, wa ma ahanahunna illa la'im." Culture. And woman has played integral part in our community. If I go back, the famous African queen of Kandaka, she was Sudanese. Her name is Amani Rinas, and she conquered Alexander the Great, Ibrahim, who entered the parliament. And we have Negma Farid, who was the first high court member. We have many women in our culture, and also play part in our political, financial, and every part of our life. Today here, I'm going to ask and request the reason, because we want to raise our name, we want to come back to our position. And nobody will respect us if we are apart. Nobody will respect us. It doesn't matter if you are of certain party, it doesn't matter if you come from north, if you come from south, if you come from east or west. It doesn't matter. Nobody knows where is Jazeera or where is South African. Then if they know more, we are Sudanese. So we are here, and if everyone is saying, I don't care about this because I'm going to go back, good arts, dancing, singing, we need to show it. But if we just, if our violence or the bad things is superior than to everything else, then we will not succeed. So I want to thank everyone today for coming, and thanks for the organizing committee, Ustaz Sarah وكل الليلة. Thank you very much. وعلى المجهود المقدر والشكر والتقدير والتجلي بكل نشاط من نشاط الكوميونتي. ونحن مهما عملنا ما ممكن نوفي حقها. جزاك الله خير وربنا يطول عمرك ويديك الصحة والعافية. شكرا جزيلا. والآن أترككم مع بقية البرنامج. شكرا جزيلا.
أي صوت زاد بالأمس خيالي طاف بالقلب وقنا للجمال وأذاع الطهر في دنيا الكمال وأشاع النور في سود الليالي. إنه صوتي أنا زاده العلم سنة. أو تدري من أنا؟ أنا أم الغد أسباب الهنا. أنا من دنياكم أحلى المنى. يسرني أن أقدم لكم الحضور الكريم الأستاذة سارة حماد سكرتيرة المرأة بالجالية.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلق الله أجمعين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. الحضور الأنيق بكل مقاماتكم لكم التحية والتجلة والاحترام. المرأة هي الأم التي أعدت جيلا طيب الأخلاق. هي جامعة الحياة في البدايات والنهايات ورائحة الذكريات. هي الأخت الرفيقة، وهي التي حملت رسالتها التي توارثت، ورفيقة الحياة وعبقها الدائم المتجدد في أبدية المكان. هي الجدة التي غرست في الأرض ابتسامة وأمل، وصنعت تراثا مزركشا عنوانا من عناوين الوجود التاريخي. هي النفس والروح المنبعثة نورا وحياة، حارسة الحلم وضامنة البقاء، وموقدة نار الثورة ومؤسسة العهد الجديد. هي المرأة مهما تبدلت أدوارها ظلت بروح واحدة تجمع كل الصفات، وتتقن فن إدارتها بامتياز واستثنائية لا يستطيع أحدا إتقانها. فهي معجونة بها منذ التكوين بالصبر والرقة والحنان والحب والإحساس والطاقة والجمال والكبرياء والأنوثة والطيبة والتواضع. هي المرأة في يوم عيدها ماضية للأمام بخطوات واثقة لا تنظر للخلف بتاتا، بل تتقدم بجدارة إلى الأمام لتخلع عنها كل ما علق بها من وثنيات ومعتقدات خاطئة عبر السنين، وما فرض عليها من قيود، وما تكبلت به من عصبيات جاهلية. مؤمنة بحقوقها التي حفظتها لها كل الشرائع السماوية، ومتسلحة بكل ما أتيت به من قوة وعلم ومعرفة إلى الأمام بلا تراجع، يحدوها الأمل وثقة المدافع عن الحق. 8 من مارس من كل عام يحتفل العالم بيوم المرأة العالمي، ونحن إذ نحتفل اليوم بها ننحني إجلالا لكل الماجدات اللواتي قدمن كل دور رفيع في مجتمعنا السوداني، ونبارك للمرأة عيدها، وندعو لها بالمزيد من التقدم والعطاء على ذات الطريق لرفع المجتمع وتطوره. المرأة السودانية تشارك في أغلب مجالات العمل، فهي العسكرية حامية البلاد، الطبيبة، الوزيرة، المعلمة، مربية الأجيال. وفي العصر الحديث استطاعت المرأة السودانية من خلال تراكمات نضالية بمستويات متفاوتة ووفقا لبعض العوامل المجتمعية السائدة استطاعت أن تحصل على مكاسب إلى أن كادت تختفي الفجوة، مما كان له انعكاسات على المرأة التي لعبت دورا كبيرا في الحركة الوطنية والاستقلال. حواء السودانية هي أم الرجال وشقيقة الأبطال المجاهدين المناضلين الشرفاء الأحرار. Every 8th of March, International Women's Day celebrates the achievement of women of past and present throughout the world. The first International Women's Day was run in 1911 in some European countries, such as Austria, Denmark, Germany, and Switzerland. More than 1 million women and men rallied to campaign for women's right to vote. In some places like China, Afghanistan, Russia, and Burkina Faso, International Women's Day is a national holiday. This day is also an occasion to inspire commitment to the future challenges that women face in making further progress. If great improvements have been made, we must be aware that everywhere around the world, women are still victims of many injuries, and parity is far from obtained. Ladies and gentlemen, Let us celebrate the progress made towards women's rights in the world, but still have a long way to go. Let's commit ourselves to collectively take actions to help women to achieve their goal, better life for all. Finally, I would say thanks for everyone for joining us today. Thank you.
أنا مدرمان، أنا السودان، أنا الدر البزين بلدي، أنا البرعان سلام وأمان، أنا البغداك يا وطني. لقد كان وما زال المرأة السودانية دور بارز وفعال في مسيرة الأغنية السودانية عبر مراحل امتدت طوال فترة نضال السودان ضد المستعمر وحتى دعمه للاستغلال، ومرورا بالانتفاضات والثورات التي تلاحقت. خير من يحدثنا حديث العارف الأستاذة نادية البناء عن دور المرأة السودانية في مجال الفن. تفضل.
نسجل التاريخ وهي اليوم، ونحيي الكوميونتي السوداني في اجتماع مرة SCAV، وعلى شرفه نشكر كل المنظمات التي ساهمت في إذكاء هذا اليوم. بالنسبة لدور المرأة السودانية في الغنى، الغنيوة أساساً صدر صيع لتعبير المناطق، انتشرت وتناقلت الشريفة بالبلاد، واحدة أخرى اسمها التومة بالعلي. يمكن مثل من أبياتها كان بيقول فيه: جروا العنقريب فوق العيال تتلم، وشوفوه كيف انهاج وهاشوا كرف الدم، دعش ميق الأصم الفي البخور من شمع. لو جينا بالتركية السابقة بيبرز اسم نهير العبود عاليا وأبياته اللي وصلتنا الليلة استعدوا وركبوا خيل الكرب قدام عديد بالأغر دفر في هيبة أسود الليلة يتنتر ويتباشى الغشيم يقول لي جدار الكرب. كمان سمعنا في نفس العهد في تركيا السابقة سمعنا بيبانونا بالتلمك، وعبر الكابل كل الناس بتعرف ما هو الفافانوس، ما هو الغليظ الغوص والتلمك. عريس خيل مجيد عكوس وحية علي سيف بحد الروس. الحقيقة الأغاني دي كانت ولا زالت وإلى الآن بنرددها وبنحبها لأنها محتفظة بقيم الأخلاقية، بقوة حركتها، بالنغم، بالسلاسة والحماسة، ولا زالت إلى الآن تلهمنا. بعد المهدية وبعد مجيء الحكم الإنجليزي انتشرت أغاني السيرة والتمتوم بصورة كبيرة، وكان فيها الهادف والمبتذل، ده موضوع ثاني. فنانة قديمة جدا اسمها فاطمة ريزي عبرت عن الفترة دي بأغنية مشهورة كانت بتقول فيها: يا الأصفر الليمون، يا الحور دهب شيبون، خط عربي ما في لزوم، يا راكب الصالون، خط بحري ما في لزوم، والعودة للخرطوم، يا راكب البيبي، يا سيدي يا حبيبي، نقلت في ايدي. في الفترة هي أمير القبطية وأم الحسن الشاقية وفاطمة خميس، مهر العبادية عرفت لأنه غنت كمونية، بتموسة الجداوية ما عرفت بما إنها أول عازفة عود في السودان، لكنها أخت أول فنانة سجلت وذكرت في وانتشرت إلى الآن الفنانة عشة الفلاتية. بعد كده ظهرت حوا حسب الرسول، الطقطاقة، الرحمة مكي، ثنائي النغم، ومبلين السنوسي، سمية حسن والبلابي في فترة واحدة، وبعدهم حنان النيل وبان النور. صارت غنية البنات بالتوازي مع الأغنية المسجلة المحترفة للمرأة السودانية. أغنية البنات بتتميز اللي هي الأغنية الخفيفة اللي بغنوها البنات فيما بينهم وبين نفسهم، وبعدها بتنتشر. كان بالنسبة لها الأغنية كانت لفتة، وهي اللي فكرت أو أظهرت المسائل الداخلية كده بتاعت البنات أكثر. عندها قصة دموعي سالت والمنامة بلي أنا العيب حبيبي. من مدني نورة. طيب في 1982 حصل حدث نوعي للأغنية لأنه ظهرت الفنانة حنان بلبل بالضبط في الفترة دي، وبلبل أصبحت فنانة بتقدم غنى البنات مصاحبا بالرقص وحولتها لشيء استعراضي. كلنا نتذكر أغنية حنان بلبل وحمادة اللمني يسافر وما كلمني حمادة ده. بعدها في الكواليس كان بتظهر سميرة دنيا بالظهور فيها واشتهرت بها، لكن الفترة الثالثة بالتحديد استأثرت بالظهور فيها واشتهرت في ساحتها فنانة صغيرة صقلت الدورات المدرسية وصقلت تجربتها. سجلت أغنياتها وهي صغيرة جدا جدا أغاني البنات، وبعدها تحولت لأغاني ثانية منها جالدة ومنها بنات ومنها محترف. الفنانة دي عطرت سماء ملبورن وثبتت رجلها في الساحة اللي هي هادية الكباشي. تحية هادية الكباشي. ضمن سليع أغنية دمعسة لو انهمر وعجبوني الناس السمر، وأظنه اشتهرت بأغنية ما قال بيجي مالو ماجا بيجي. بعدها ظهرت رضا الجامعة، اشتهرت بأغاني التمتم والسيرة والحماسة، لكن لما ظهرت بيت مدني انصاف خميس أو اللي هي انصاف مدني لقبوها بملكة الدلوكة، سيطرت على الساحة وبزت في أغاني البنات بالتحديد في الأغاني تحت السيرة والحماسة. الحقيقة الكلمة حقتي غيرونية لساني حديث. أحيي المرأة بعد المرأة الفنانة، أحيي المرأة ست البيت، رائدات القدم الشغل ظهروا به فورمال الاستقلالات الرسمية وفي المكاتب والوزارات. أنا باسم الجميع بحيي الأمهات، أمهاتنا في بيوتنا والزوجات الملك السوداني SCAV الحاج حياة المسرح أساساً وسبحة وعطر الحرم المكي وشرح تستاهلي يا حاجة. شكرا جزيلا.
السودان الوطن الواحد ما قد كان وما سيكون. السودان معروف بتنوعه الثقافي وتراثه الثري. هذا التنوع الذي أضفى على السودان جمالا وعلقا خلى ما نجده في مجتمع آخر. وواحد من هذه اللوحات الرائعة بل الراقية نشاهدها مع شرقنا الحبيب رقصة قبيلة الرجال.
العالمي. بحيي كل أمهاتنا وحبوباتنا وخالاتنا وعماتنا وأخواتنا وبقول لهم المرأة سلاح كل شعب، ولولا المرأة لما كان الشعب ولا أجل الشعب. التحية للمرأة مرة ثانية. شكرا.
الليلة محمد نور بمشي معاك الليلة.
دارفور ميلاد السلطان علي دينار الذي دامت مملكته أكثر من 300 عام. دارفور بلد التراث والفن والأدب رعاهم الله، والآن فرقة وادي فور.
Rita وسوف تروا في دراما بسيطة تقريبا لمدة دقيقة ونصف فقط هتعرفوا إن شاء الله تقدير البيئة بالنسبة للمرأة، حيث إنها تحل مشاكل ما لم تستطيع الحكومات أن تحلها. سوف ترون بالذات عندما تكون المشاكل الأولية. وإليكم فرسان البيئة في رقصة الجالية والدراما، فلتفضلوا. هنا تتدخل المرأة لكي تحل هذه المشكلة القضائية. وتقف المرأة بين القبيلتين المتشاكلتين كاشفة رأسها فيغف كل الحرب. احتراما للمرأة. هي المرأة السودانية وشكرا للمرأة السودانية.
Today we're talking about Women's Day. We like celebrating Women's Day and so do lots of women because women get a chance to speak and let people know or things or just change the community.
Women also like Women's Day because the bullies against women have to acknowledge that the half population are full with women and girls.
International Women's Day is originally called International Working Women's Day. It's celebrated on March the 8th every year.
We think Women's Day is all about respect, appreciation and love for all the women that have grown wiser in a couple of years. Like Mary Curie, who was the first woman that discovered radiation, or like Georgia O'Keeffe, who was a remarkable artist. People like to celebrate Women's Day achievements also by Mother's Day. I appreciate Women's Day because as women have rights, they also have responsibilities like have to take their children to school someday.
Some people celebrate the day by wearing purple ribbons or just purple.
In 1909, women were expected to clean up and stay home. The men started to care. They were trying to speak up, but no one cared. So then the men and women that realized just gave up. Women's Day was declared a national holiday in 1917 and women began to do things that men did. It is now celebrated in all countries and Australia. So now you know why to celebrate Women's Day.
اليوم مدرسة إذا أعددتها أعددت شعب طيب الأعراق.
Thank you.
تبقى الكلمات السودانية والأشعار السودانية والصوت السوداني فوق الكل. كلمات وعزفا وأداء. نحن اليوم في حضرة صوت سوداني ببساطة يمكن القول بأنه الأجمل والأروع في حواء السودانية، ألا وهي الفنانة السودانية هاي كباشي.
Follow my step. song. One more. Sudan is my homeland. Let's take it back. Back to Africa. Let's go. Sudan. Big G. I miss my homeland. And the name is Sudan. It's a beautiful place. I miss that day when I was a kid. My mama always tell me that's food and always being healthy. Why they would just get hell in this world? Give us with the news to the parties like girls. As anyone else has one of those food. I'm going to the pain. I have to show a fire in the plane. In my brain, I'm in the train. I'm trying to understand. I'm sick of this world game. The better you can hear. Brothers are dying. Babies are dying. Let's survive on this planet. Looking at the homeless things. How to be alive. Listen, everybody got their own problems. I'm listening to the sky. I'm from Sudan. I miss my homeland. I'm gonna plan so I get your heart man. I'll make a stand with Uncle North man. This is my dream, so I tell you who I am. I'm from Sudan, I miss my homeland. I'm gonna plan so I get your heart man. I'll make a stand with Uncle North man. This is my dream, so I tell you who I am. If you from the north or the west, we do the best. That's what everything having rest through the west. This is the to be a land. I know more, cause I had nothing more. When I look at it, I see round on the ground. Giving it flat to the draw. Feel that I'm trying to go in the light. There's a lot of niggas reading that are talking about time. I reach my parents that's flying back home. I reach all the lyrics that I call my own. Next time, me and my friends will have a talk. I tell them I was trying to walk with you. Come on, you ain't me. But I like to talk a little bit of bigger things. Remember, we can get it clear. Yeah, I'm just glad that I reached my homeland. I'm gonna plan so I get your heart, man. I'll make a stand with Uncle North, man. This is my game, so I tell you who I am. Everybody, 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 I'm gonna plan so I get your heart, man. I'll make a stand with Uncle North, man. This is my game, so I tell you who I am. Thank you guys, thank you.
Thank you everybody. Respect to all the women here. Enjoy your night.
I
الفقرة الجاية دي يا اخوانا انا عاوزكم تسمعوها كويس. دي شباب وقاعدين حسن وحسين واوزي. حسن حيقوم ينقل لنا شعر بالعربي جزء بالانجليزي. في النهاية ده بعبر عن شبابنا واولادنا الموجودين في استراليا هنا. فاتمنى انه احنا نعيرهم الاهتمام ونشجعهم على الحاجة اللي بيعملوا فيها دي عشان يطوروا ويقدروا يفوزوا.
الحين فنان الكباسي صوت حلو. اوكي عاوز اقول لكم شعر. اوكي I was born in a place called the end. We had a hard life there. Mom wanted to take us to a better place to put a smile in our face. This woman had to make tea to sell on the streets. So hard, people everywhere, traffic going crazy, cars zooming by, black smoke, hot wind blowing. Other women on the street just like mom selling tea on the streets. Police taking them away to jail for no reason, for trying to survive to have a better life for a kid in her vision. To the woman that loved me so much no matter what goes wrong or right. To the woman that had me in her 9 months and her stomach long. To the woman that never gave up even with challenges. To the woman that's always there for me even when I'm sick. To the woman that's grateful through her sweat and her tears. My mom, she's so beautiful, she glows like the moon. She means the world to me. Even if I got married, she will still be my queen. Do you hear me? Alright, DRB, we're gonna rap for you guys. Watch it. Hit it, DJ.
Oh, let's go. We're gonna party now. Come on, everybody, put your hands together. BRB. Let's go.
Follow my step.
Yeah, let's
That's
go.
The one. Follow my step, follow my step. 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 Follow my step, follow my step.
step, follow my step, follow my step, follow my step, follow my step. I go very clean. Can't see the speed that I bring for my team. When I wear the vest, I know I'm the best. I'm not trying to press, I'm on the Wild West. Just step back, we got the new swag. Go my snap back, I'm gonna lean back. Wanna move to the right.
تحية مرة أخرى وكله عيد مرأة وانتم طيبين. نتمنى انكم تكونوا استمتعتوا معنا وان شاء الله نشوفكم ملمومين وسالمين وتامين. واتمنى انه تكون بداية لنشاط فعلي للجالية السودانية وانه الناس تشارك وتعمل الكثير لانه احنا عندنا الكثير راجينا عشان اولادنا وعشان اطفالنا دي. في كلمة من الاخ عبد الرحيم للاخوان.
اذا اعددتها احتفلنا اليوم بالمرأة.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. خص بالشكر للجنة المنظمة لليوم بالاخص الاستاذ سارة والاخ مزار القراني والاخت منى عثمان شريف الطرف والشكر الجزيل للحاج حياة وشكر للاخ دروب وشكر لشركه فيكتوريا اللواء الرئيس. الشكر للاستاذ نادي الفنة، الشكر للدكتور نادي، الشكر للاستاذ المسكتي، وشكر للفرقه الفنيه حتى الفور والاستاذ هاي القباسي واعضاء القران. وشكرا جزيلا لاعضاء لجنه التنفيذيه. شكرا جزيلا ونشكركم على الحضور.
شكرا جزيلا للحضور الكرام. ان شاء الله نلتقيكم في مرات اخرى وبرامج بيوم، نوال، الأخت شريفة، الأخت منى، نزار، وكل من شارك في إنجاح هذا اليوم، والدة حياة ورحاب.
منجيها بلد أحبابي لا عاهنا إلا
أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان لا شح لا قلا. أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان لا شح لا قلا. ما تقفل البيبان في وجهك من كان ليقصد الجيعان هي للمقود سلا.
منجيها بلد أحبابي لا عاهنا إلا
أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان لا شح لا قلا. أخباركم خيرا حشاه في البلدان لا شح لا قلا. ما تقفل البيبان في وجهك من كان ليقصد الجيعان هي للمقود سلا. ما تقفل البيبان في وجهك من كان ليقصد الجيعان هي للمقود سلا.